Secret friends, unite!
Welcome to the Secret Friends Unite podcast, episode 533. That's right. We are back, and we are your guide to the geek side. I am one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, living the dream in Minnesota. We are now on July 5th, which means at this point, I guess we're trying to give back our citizenship and get reclaimed by the British. I don't know. We'll see how this all goes, but we got a big, beautiful bill. But that's not the focus of our show. It's to talk about the geeky things we've got. And the voice you would normally hear is Charlie Carden. He's on a well-deserved vacation, parts unknown, Upper Michigan. He was in Canada, then he came back. It was kind of a weird thing for him, but he is enjoying some time off. So I put the bat signal up, and our good friend CJ, one part of the 1 hour, one decision empire, Chris John, has come back to Secret Friends Unite. Chris, how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing all right. How are you, Todd?
You know, can't complain at this point, but I probably should be. But you know what? Nobody wants to hear complain. They want to hear talk about geeky stuff.
Yeah.
Chris, we are on the eve of Superman.
Yes.
The eve of Fantastic Four, a bunch of other good stuff. Sandman season 2 just dropped. We've got a lot of stuff happening. I know. I have not watched any of it yet, but I did watch a little bit of a primer because I was behind. But yeah, it's going to be a busy time in the world of nerd over the summer. We got some big games coming out, and yeah, we're ready to talk about all the stuff we love. So Chris, are you dying over there of heat? I know on the East Coast it's been kind of nasty. How are things going?
It's better. It's definitely better now. There was definitely a couple of days where it felt like, the devil's bunghole. But thankfully, it's gotten a lot better, and be able to enjoy the weather and not cry about it. So yeah, I'm glad that that's there. But it's summer, so gotta enjoy it for what it is. You gotta take the good and the bad, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fun fact, you know what the bunghole is named actually for?
No, I don't.
In the whiskey barrel, you had a hole and you had a bung. The bung would go in, they punch it in the hole. So the bung hole, you put a bung in. Don't know why. And apparently, yeah, they would put different distillers and brewers would put in like some message at the bottom of the bung, and they hit it.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go.
It's
someone took that phrase and made it something else.
There's some useless trivia brought to you by Todd today.
That's right. Enjoy. It's worth 2 cents. You can pay me back later. But you know what? We got some awesome people we do need to pay back. And that is our Patreon Secret Friends Squad. These are the folks that make the show happen. They pay the bills so we can do the show and bring it to you every week. If you are not a Patreon, you can always check out a free trial or get your first month 50% off. With that, you'll get exclusive shows, early shows, no ads, Discord benefits, and all starting at a measly $2 a month. Oh my goodness. We had some recent new members, so hopefully you're enjoying it. Anybody on a trial, hopefully you're enjoying this too without ads. And stick around, you might hear something you like. And those people that are some of the best people in Secret Friends Unite.
Oh my goodness.
We got a sighting. Oh my goodness. Oh, Chris. She can join. All right. If you were on YouTube, you'd be seeing Chris was visited maybe by a slayer. I don't know. Probably someone that doesn't let him sleep at night, but that's okay. Yeah, but our besties, Derek Trevelyan, a.k.a. the Figure Dude, Francie, the SFU's official hairdresser, Xbox Expansion Pass, Mr. Luke Lore, Charlie's Uncle Tim Horan, John Sidorf, Corey Myers, Corey in HD. Did I say Corey Myers? I meant Brendan Myers. If I said Corey. Corey in HD, Matthew Keel, Kurt Krug, Tanya Lee, Chipotle Bear, Famous Seamus, Cam the Movie Man, Jay Newport 007, Prozac Man, a.k.a. Darth Prozac, and Freight Conductor, and our Secret Friends Super Squad, Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias. Thank you all for making the show happen. And once again, check out patreon.com/secretfriendsunite and see if you like it. But with that, Chris, we got into part of the show that is kind of becoming a quiz now. It's called We Got This Covered. Todd picks a random cover, typically based on the episode number of this show. Well, there's not many comics that have gone up to issue 533. So I'm just picking anything with a 33 in it. And this week I picked Nick Fury of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's the new super agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we are given characters such as Cyborg, Violence, Knockabout, and Ivory, with Nick Fury's face in the background. Violence is apparently in one of those shield bikes where the wheels go sideways so they can become like projectile like propulsion units.
Yeah.
And then they're all looking to kick butt and probably never be seen again. So Chris, I've described this cover now, and you have two things to ask you. When was this comic released? And it was $1.75. When was this released, and what is happening in this comic?
Ooh, okay. This looks very 90s. In fact, I would probably say 94, 94, 95. And what is going on? Well, I mean, he's introduced the new super agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And like, it would be hilarious if this is their first, like you mentioned, this is their first and only comic where they end up dying at the end.
You know, it's first mission, last mission, kind of like some. What was it? The all new X-Men, their first mission. One of them did not make it back, Thunderbird. So yeah.
So I mean, you know, this is also the original. The original Nick Fury style. You know, like where he was looked closer to David Hasselhoff than Sam Jackson. So I mean. Ooh, what happens in this? I mean, I'm sure they're going on their missions and they're checking out what the heck is going on with maybe AIM. Maybe they're going up against AIM. Maybe they're they're doing that, and you know, Violence goes too violent and takes out the rest of her crew, and then she feels bad and offs herself. End of the story.
Wow, you're putting a little suicide in a comic. I'm sure the Comics Code loved that.
Oh dang! It is a Comics Code authorized one too. So maybe she walks away. You know.
Okay, that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The funny part is, like, Marvel doesn't even acknowledge this comic. It's not on their website. So, and it was funny because normally I go to like Fandom for their descriptions. They have nothing for the story.
Wow.
So, Chris, I didn't read this issue. So at this point, unless someone has said, "Hey, this is what happened in this book." Let me see. I'll give it one more link because I'm looking. There's no link. So, Chris, you're right. That's exactly what happened. You won.
I won.
You won. Unless you want to read the comic now and go back and tell me all about it.
Probably not. No, I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm looking, and this comic doesn't even have like what it's worth. So the fact that Marvel doesn't deem it worthy to put it on its comic site, Comixology, or any of those things.
Yeah.
You know what? That's where you can put this comic. I mean, it does list like who is in this comic. So you also got characters named Mad Dog, Overrider, Angar the Screamer, Smoke Scream, Assault and Battery. You also got Cable apparently was mentioned in it.
Okay.
Dum Dum Dugan's LMD first appearance. Then he died. So somebody did die in there for one. Okay. But other than that, nothing is known.
Out, then? What was the release? Do you have that?
Oh, this was January 1992. And then on the next issue, I just want to looked at issue 34. It does say Strucker Strikes. So Hydra was involved, and Nick Shield is there. Okay. But and they do say Cyborg, Knockabout, and Violence did show up.
Oh,
so maybe just they showed their graves, Chris.
Hey, maybe. Right. So it might still work. Work.
You know what? I'll give you the win because I can't take it away from you. No one can prove it.
No one can
prove it.
Just hey, guys. One particular issue.
That's right. Chris got it right. Future writer of all Asian Shield Comics, Chris.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
All right. Well, you know what, folks? If you really do know what happened in this comic, let us know because we are dying to find out and too lazy to read it.
Yeah.
So, because I don't even know how I can find it. So, but that is the game of the game every week we do with cover story. So, if you've got a suggestion for a comic you'd like us to guess what happened between the pages, suggest it, and then we'll have it on the show. So, with that, Chris, it's time for us to check in with our senior news correspondent. So, without further delay, Madam Webb, take it away.
Now it's time for Madam Webb's rumors and news. Take it away, boys.
Madam Webb, I just want to say we are so happy to have you. You've seen this country through many things. 125 years of living the dream. Next year, the country turns 250. That is half of your experience. You lived through your protesting of women's suffrage. You said that children should not have work safety laws, and you also felt that that children should be out of school at the age of 12 because half the learning is out on the streets. So there you go, Chris. You know what? She's got some crazy ideas, but you know what? For 125, it's not too bad.
You know what? At this time, this era, it might possibly be bringing those things back. So
I think we're closer to her ideas than we were to modern ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go, Chris. Well, our first story, as we get into this, is we are finally getting Running Man 2025. So if anybody knows anything about Running Man, that movie was in early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, Arnold Schwarzenegger film. It was based on a short story by Stephen King's alter ego. It's kind of crazy. And the adaptation was very silly, very over the top, felt like a wrestling film because it had Jesse the Body Ventura. It was a game show where criminals essentially were allowed to earn back their freedom and given games and prizes if they could survive this competition called the Running Man.
1987
And
is when they're released.
87, there we go. And it was a very fun movie, but it was not what Stephen King envisioned with his story. And this one's closer to realizing that story. And this is being directed by Edgar Wright, and it's got Glenn Powell in it. I mean, and think about two things I love. I love Edgar Wright and I love Glenn Powell. This trailer is excellent because it's not just confined to like an underground base where he's being chased and it's set up with these over the top villains. I didn't realize he has 30 days to survive. He's just out there. People are tracking him. Anyone can kill him.
Yeah.
And if he does get through it, he'll basically get his freedom and get out of a life of poverty. So that's where we have it. So we've got Coleman Domingo is basically the host of the show on screen, but then we've got let's see, Josh Brolin is basically, he's the producer, Killian. And in the old one, I think it was that Killian was both the producer and the host. So they kind of split it up this time.
Richard Dawson was the original.
That's right. And Richard Dawson, he was the host of Family Feud, Kissed All Those Ladies, was also on Hogan's Heroes. And this has also got Michael Cera, Jamie Lawson, William H. Macy, and this movie comes out November 7th. So, Chris, were you a fan of the original, and what do you think of this?
I have not seen Running Man. I'm surprised. I know. Because I've watched all of the other Arnold movies. I for some reason, this one I just never did. I apologize to everyone listening, but I am a huge fan of Edgar Wright. So I'm excited. I saw this trailer. It just looked balls to the walls crazy. And he just does such a phenomenal job with most, if not all of his movies. I know like the one that was most recent, like the kind of mystery one was kind of wonky.
What is it? Last Night in Soho?
Yeah. But it was still good. I still enjoyed it.
I really liked it. Yeah, it was a different take. It was a different type of ghost story type of situation. Yeah.
But like this, is this his first movie where he's taking someone else's work and doing it himself?
No, he did Scott Pilgrim, so obviously that was graphic
Oh,
novel.
that's true. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I
But he was supposed to do Ant-Man. He was supposed to
That's
do
true.
Ant-Man, and that he basically set up all this premise, and then whatever the guy who did it took some of those ideas and made it into a movie. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I feel like he didn't get a chance to really make his own. But yeah, I mean, everything else has been kind of his own proprietary. The Coronado trilogy, then a Baby Driver, and then Scott Pilgrim, Baby Driver, and then Last Night in Soho. So this is kind of, getting more higher brow, working with the studio again, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to see this, and I think the trailer hyped me up even more because it just looked like, you know, we're getting some good Edgar Wright vibes. And I mean, I'm on the fence with Glenn Powell. Like he can, I'm not like he can't be a leading man. I think he can, but like I feel like he's just all over the place, like everywhere. So I'm like, oh, it's another one. But you know, I'm here for it. I'm here for another chance to prove me wrong that he can be a leading man and all this stuff.
Yeah, so. I skipped Twisters, just had no interest in it.
Yeah.
I mean, even Glenn Powell looked very persuasive and very charming. Let's see. I did not see the Sydney Sweeney romantic comedy. I mean, I'm assuming it was people obviously liked it, did very well at the box office. And then Top Gun, that was kind of his big first really standout role. But my standout role with Glenn Powell is in Scream Queens.
Yes,
one of my
you
favorite.
Keep that.
I know I do, because it's such a good role. Chad Radwell, he is the douchiest of the douches, and he is excellent at it. So I'm like, you know what? He made that come to life, and I just love that he just. I'm glad he was able to do this project with Edgar Wright, because I think he needs to work with good people. I think this is what it comes down to.
Agreed.
Yep.
So yeah, cool.
Well, Chris, you got some homework. Running Man, check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. It is campy as hell, though.
Oh yeah.
All right. Then we got another trailer. A movie I wasn't aware of that was coming out is Project Hail Mary. I guess it's based on a book that I didn't read. But this is Phil Lord and Chris Miller are doing one of their first live action projects, which is cool. And they're basically teaming up with Ryan Gosling in the lead. And it's essentially all of these stars, these suns are just quickly going extinct, and they don't know why. And they found one place where the sun is not going extinct, and he needs to go there, but he's only a science teacher, and that's all he wants to do. He's hesitant, but he does decide to take the leap of faith to help, the world and humans, because they're saying basically you're our only hope. And he does. He goes, and looks like he's just really going to once again use all his charm in this role. Looks great. And apparently in the book, the surprise was there's an alien. Well, they showed it right here. They didn't sway away from that. They said he's gonna meet up with an alien, and I'm like, interesting. So this isn't just like The Martian or something like that. This is actually going to be more sci-fi than just like a reverse Armageddon, I guess, something like that, where he needs Aerosmith to be his background music. So I don't know much about the book, but it's based by the Martian. The author of The Martian wrote it, this other book. So obviously The Martian was a huge success. Andy Weir's the writer of that. And I'm really curious to see Lord and Miller did do 21 Jump Street. That was their only other live action, but they did the Lego movie, Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs, and obviously working on the Spider-Verse films. This movie comes out March 20th, 2026. So still got some time for this, and I'm surprised they actually put the trailer out so early. I mean, at this point, we don't have trailers for a lot of movies that are coming out this fall, and so I thought this looked cool. Should be a interesting film. I'm not sure what the tone makes it feel a little dramedy. I don't know if there'll be more drama, more comedy, but I'm interested to see where it goes. Ryan Gosling, he's really started warming my heart with all his roles. Really enjoy him. So, Chris, with that, were you aware of this? And what do you think?
I was not, and I mean, I'm surprised that they have time to do this when they still need to finish part 2 of Across the Spider-Verse. Like, what's going on with that? Finish that first, guys.
Remember that was supposed to come out like a year after the last movie? It was supposed to come out like 2023 or 4.
TikTok guys.
Yeah.
Come on.
Apparently, you had to start all over. It wasn't not working because,
Really?
yeah,
Oh no.
which is a shame because I love those movies, but I heard
Yeah.
some iffy things about the production.
What a shame. But yeah, I mean, this seems interesting. I mean, they clearly these guys are very good at their craft, and we all know Ryan Gosling is gonna Ryan Gosling things. So I'm excited. I'm interested to see what this is about. And it's got it's got the premise from Andy Weir, the Martian. I didn't read the book, but I saw the movie, and that movie was pretty interesting as well. So there's probably some realism to this, even though there's some sci-fi alien stuff that I know a lot of people out there believe aliens are real, and maybe they are, but we still haven't seen one in person yet. But
Or have we?
or have we?
Don't know.
That's a good point. But yeah, it definitely seems like something I'd watch and check out for sure.
It is interesting as I think about it, the transition from old Hollywood, Arnold, Tom
Mhm.
Cruise. Now, I don't know if there truly are any, what we call
There's no names. There's
superstars
no names like that. Yeah.
or what we call true movie stars. To their name just brings you to the film.
Mhm.
And now we've got Glenn Powell, we've got Ryan Gosling,
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, I mean Hugh Jackman is close, but maybe not so
Yeah.
much because not everything he does is really resounding success,
No.
unless it's he's playing Wolverine in it, and then
Christian
even
Bale maybe or Chris Hemsworth.
that's the hard part, right? Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth has had some tough times.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, he picks a lot of projects that don't exactly,
Yeah.
really put him out there. I don't
The
know.
Rock at one point.
Yes. Will Smith was, one of those people at one time, and we do get into that worrisome now where it's like, oh, I'm like they're everywhere. I'm tired of them. Like
Yeah.
we saw Will Smith fall down the ladder of success. Now Jack Black might be the biggest thing we got to a movie star because
That's
everything he
true.
touches
That's
seems
true.
gold.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were making fun of Minecraft, and then boom, it's $1 billion movie, right?
And he was in the Super Mario Brother movie.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, he's done really well.
I mean, I guess you could say the other Chris Pratt, maybe, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, he seems to be stuck in. I mean, now that Jurassic Park is done for him, he's stuck in all these, Netflix movies where he's making a lot of money, but I don't think the Netflix movies are good for anybody's career.
Yeah. It's true. There aren't really any like big movie stars anymore, and I think it's just because like these studios are just churning out movie after movie after movie. You can't like really follow one character anymore or one person like actor anymore. It's now it's the IP that's more important than the actor.
Well, and movies cost so much more now to make that,
That's true.
it used to be like, oh, we just need Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're paying $40 million, but we'll only spend like $5 million on the film and the practical effects.
Right.
Now it's like everything. Oh, our cast is only a third of our budget because we've got to spend it on CGI and, whirlwind trips. I mean, yeah. I mean, Timothée Chalamet, I mean, he's really young. He's done pretty well so far, but maybe, and then I think of like Tom Holland. I mean, I thought that guy was going to be everywhere. He just does not pick good projects.
And I think he said he tries to be very particular with his projects too. So then, like on the flip side of it, you've got Robert Pattinson, right? He's pretty good. He's got range though. So he needs to pick a lot of different
picks
things.
a show like he picks a project like Mickey 17, which quite honestly, I enjoyed it, but that was not a star-making film. But he's been Batman, he's been Cullen, and then he picks really oddball movies too. So, and maybe that's the point. Maybe people don't want to be just that anymore. They want to do the projects they want. So that's cool. Yeah,
it's just a new era of movie making.
Yeah. Well, getting back to an old era of movie making. And that, Chris, is Paramount saying, you know what? Well, used to work and make a lot of money. Michael Bay making Michael Bay Bayformer movies where they would drop, they would be horrible, and people would still flock to the box office. We got racist robots. We got plots that made no sense. Too many good actors in these movies with horrible dialogue. untrackable action sequences where the robots had no personalities, they looked the same, and plots that made no sense. And then Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox. I mean, yeah, it didn't take much, and then a lot of time spent with the parents of the main actor for some reason because they're funny. But yeah, the last two films. Well, actually, let's put it this way: the last three films, the Transformers series have not done well. Bumblebee, I thought, was the best of the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
Really loved it from a live action lens. Did not do that well. Did okay. Then the War of the Beasts did very badly. I did like some of it, but some of it was like, not the greatest. And then we got Transformers 1, which I really liked.
Yeah.
Did not do well at all.
But that's CG.
So
that was a CG movie, though, right?
All CG, was really good. Good voice acting. Really liked how they handled, like, we never got the origin Transformers before, really. So I'm like, this is great. Looked great.
Cool.
And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Good writing, very fun. And then John Hamm was in that as like the main bad guy, and he was great too. So I really enjoyed that. So at that point, we are still expecting to get a crossover with G.I. Joe. So if you saw the end of War of the Beasts, they did talk about G.I. Joe, and I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe it does. G.I. Joe has never been successful in anything other than just the animated series. The toy lines come back, but yeah, they aren't. But apparently, before we probably get that to happen, we are... Michael Bay's not been doing great either since he left. Kind of like, he's struggling. So he's probably looking to get back to a hit. But apparently, it's the studio is spinning up several Transformers movies. One is said to be helmed by one director, Josh Cooley, and one will be live action. And will be live action. The other is said to be coming from Michael Bay, who's currently operating as a hands-on producer, but could potentially direct. Bay dipped out after 2017's The Last Night, where, yes, Transformers were part of the Arthurian legend. There you go, folks. And at that point, and then there's no information on the rumored Transformers projects or G.I. Joe anywhere else. So at this point, Chris, they apparently have to make a Transformers movie or have it in production by 2029 for it to still be within Paramount. If not, it'll go back to Hasbro and they can make their own movie. So with all of that, Chris, if you had your druthers of any of these three things, what would you want to happen? Or none of the above?
I mean, there is such reverence for the series and not the Michael Bay stuff. I mean, like Transformers as a whole, right? Maybe give some other studio a shot. Let Paramount let it go and have someone else do it, because I think Hasbro did a pretty decent job with their other properties. I thought, right? Oh no, but Dungeons.
Well, they did
Dragons
the D. That was a good movie, though.
It was a good movie.
I
Paramount
liked
did
it
that too. You're right.
Yeah,
but like they need like a fresh pair of eyes on this. Not Michael Bay.
Or they've got to take back the creative control of it. It could be at Paramount, but let somebody else like at Hasbro say, this is the type of movie we select. The act, we select the director, writer, and you just produce it or just distribute it. But this is
It's
I just feel like Paramount execs don't really care. They just know it makes money, and they think, make more money.
I mean, I'll throw it back at you. Who do you think would be a good director for this? Like a Transformers movie?
It's going to be crazy, but I think the director from Top Gun Maverick, I think could do a good job, because I think he does big things. We saw what he could do with planes, and you got to do part of that right. And I think the story, the pacing was pretty good in that movie. Managed the people and the other parts of that movie very well. If I could go back, I'd probably pick Trevor Knight again from Bumblebee, but obviously he's busy with doing his live action or his stop motion films. But yeah, I would probably say, I think it's Chad Stahelski. No.
Oh, that's the guy who did John
No,
Wick.
it's John Wick. That's John Wick. What's his name?
Oh, I
trying
know.
to think
But
of the guy
he's
who
the guy
did.
who just did F1, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think he's got the chops to do a
Yeah.
big film, and he can manage celebrities and other action really well. So I think that's what you need with the Transformers, because if you don't handle the Transformers well, and it looks blinding and you can't tell them apart, but God Almighty, give them a redesign, give them a little more color, a little bit more personality in their design, so we can tell them apart,
Yeah.
rather than just like jagged things that are going to poke you in the eye.
I don't.
So there you
I
go.
still don't get that.
I don't either. They
And
need
he
some
ruined the
plastic surgery.
turtles too, like with that.
Oh yes, but the last Turtles film was great. So yeah. There's people that get it and other people don't. Give it to a fan. Give it to a fan.
Yeah.
Robert Kirkman has just relaunched the Transformers and G.I. Joe universe, and it's excellent. Bring Kirkman in to write it, because the dude is a good writer. I mean, and he's worked in Hollywood, so maybe bring Kirkman to write it and then get someone else to direct it, and they can be a good team. Or maybe or I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? They broke my heart too many times. Transformers is one of my favorite things in the world, and it's bad, but the comics are so good right now. So highly recommend the Energon universe. It's really good.
Okay.
All right, folks, if you have a pick for Transformers, let us know. But with that, we got a little bit of sad and glad news, depending on where you stand. I know Last of Us Season 2 ended on HBO. It's really season, part 2, season 3, whatever you want to call it. But it's really an ongoing story based on the game. Chris, did you watch any of or all of Last of Us?
I watched the first episode of season 1.
Okay, so there you go. So either you're like, I got distracted, didn't care. What about the games? Did you play the games?
I played the prologue of episode of The Last of Us Part 1. That's it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you care about the story, but
I don't.
I'll take your commentary. So, Neil Druckmann is stepping away from HBO's Last of Us. He said at this point he wants to refocus his efforts on future game titles. We do know we're getting Intergalactic is the next. Well, Intergalactic : The Heretic Prophet. That's their next game they're making. No mention of Last of Us Part 3, and hopefully no more remakes, remasters, director cuts. The complete edition, whatever they're calling it, because they actually did release the complete edition. I believe it's out now, so you can get that, because in case you didn't buy it any other way, that's the last we buy it. So I don't care about that stuff. Doesn't really bother me. Obviously, do projects, get people better at new technology, cool.
Sure.
But I think it's been way too long since the last game. The last game came out in 2019, or no, 2020. I think it was 2020, but just before the PlayStation 5 came out. So yeah, it's been 5 years. So we need one more than just one Naughty Dog game a generation.
Please.
So, but we're gonna do that. But he's gonna step away. So at this point, it will truly be the main creative behind the show, Craig Mazin, who's going to take it over. So he's going to executive produce, direct, and write the last 2 seasons. He's going to finish it up. Most likely there will be 2 more seasons to adapt and finish up, which quite honestly, I'm glad they're doing, but I think it's not going to be making many people happy, because I think this season made a lot of people unhappy because most of the characters you didn't like. And they became very unlikable. So there wasn't someone to root for. Well, there was one person to root for, and then unfortunately I know what happened to her, or what's happening to her. And yeah, it's kind of it's rubbed people the wrong way, especially when these shows are taking what? It used to be shows came out every year. Now they're coming out every 2 to 3 to 4 years with gaps. So it's very frustrating. So the show is everyone's so high after season 1 of the show that season 2 you just feel like the magic's gone.
Are they still following the game to a T, or?
I would say yes, with some little tweaks, but the first game was a game that was meant to be done in one setting. So they nailed season 1 very well. They nailed it, add in some extra bits that were kind of cool. And then season 2 is really Last of Us Part 2, Part 1 of quite honestly 3 parts, because that's the way the game is set up. And it's obviously, but the good thing is when you play the game, you just keep playing in the different parts, the way it's divided up. This one's not. So you're going to basically need 2 more seasons to truly wrap it up. And I do worry that people will not find someone they can root for in either season, the next season, because this, as Neil Druckmann had said, the first game was about loss. The second game was about hate.
Oh,
So basically
geez.
hate and anger.
Okay.
So that's why I felt like, and what it can do to people, right? What you do for love, and then what you do out of anger and hate and revenge. So maybe a part 3 would be, what do you do for hope? Maybe that's what the third game could be, which would be great if they did it. Maybe a different viewpoint. But Last First Part 2 was, it was troublesome.
Like, I thought it ended in like a
It
very.
ended, and a lot of people were unhappy with that. And I thought it was fine the way it ended. I really loved the game and what it did. But I know some people did not like it, but a lot of people felt frustrated. But a lot of people are like, that's kind of what happens sometimes. Some people make bad decisions and they have to live with it. And sometimes they make bad decisions where they lose everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see how this goes in getting the next season out, and we'll see if we do get the next Naughty Dog game before PlayStation 6, because they typically release right before the season, the next game system comes out.
Yeah.
But man, games take too long to make. Oh well. That is our second to last story. Our last story, Chris, Street Fighter is back after a 35-year hiatus from the silver screen with live action actors. Jean-Claude Van Damme, Ming Na Wen, fighting what was the name of the actor who
Raul
played
Julia?
Raul Julia, his last role. Classically trained actor, amazing, playing M. Bison, a movie I've never seen. So I need to remedy that. If I watch this, you have to watch Running Man, Chris. Maybe we'll
Fair
agree
enough.
to do that.
We'll do that.
Yes. So, but Street Fighter is this movie is coming back with Capcom, and it is casting the hell out of some roles. Oh my goodness, David Dastmalchian, who you know from Ant-Man, he was Polka Dot Man, and he was in that great movie Late Night with the Devil. Did you ever see that movie?
No, but he was also in The Dark Knight.
That's right. But Late Night Devil's a great film if you want to see like a kind of an indie horror film. But yeah, he's gonna play M. Bison. So obviously David Dastmalchian is not a big guy, but Rahul Julia wasn't either when he played the role. So it's kind of weird. Yeah. Maybe he's gonna bulk up. And then that
put those bodysuits on, like
that's true. Yeah, the foam bodysuits. Everybody loves those. Yeah. And then Cody Rhodes, WWE superstar, is then the basically talks to join as Guile, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah. He's American's nightmare. Let's see, Guile is the U.S. Army colonel with iconic flat top and the most American energy blast in video game history, the sonic boom projectile, and he does the flip. And essentially at this point, we've got Roman Reigns apparently going to play Akuma. Oh, wow. Jason Momoa is going to be Blanca. Trying to figure that one out. Okay. Andrew Koji and Noah Centineo as Ryu and Ken. Kalina Liang as Chun-Li. And 50 Cent as Balrog. Oh, yeah. Get your punch on. Okay. And then Orville Peck as Vega. I think Orville Peck is a performer, country star, right?
Okay.
Wears a mask. I think that's what he does.
Oh, yeah.
He does. Okay. Yeah, and Katao Sakurai is at the helm for his work on the Eric Andre show, which is just a weirdo, bizarro comedy thing. And then Butterfly series on Amazon. Oh my goodness! So the more I think about this, Chris, I'm hoping this is like the Brady Bunch movie, the Barbie movie take on video games that we really haven't had. But am I just wrong in dreaming?
I don't know. This is so weird. Like, it just seems like a WWE entertainment like production movie. Goes straight to video, kind of
was it John Cena as the Marine?
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like this is the kind of production value we're gonna expect for this kind of movie. But hey, I'm happy to be proven wrong with this for sure. But right now it's not looking good. Not looking good.
it's so weird. I mean, back in the 90s, 2000s, even the late or the early 2010s, we got some weird, awful video game movies. We got the
Yeah.
Double Dragon movie, the Dead or Alive movie, which I don't know if you've seen,
Oh,
but
no.
man, that is
No.
cheesecake right there. Jamie, there's it just, oh God. Let's see. There was Dead Alive movie. There was
The Resident
obviously
Evil movie.
there too many of them to
Too many.
speak to. We had a Double Dragon movie, a
Come on, yeah,
Tekken
the Mario
movie
movie.
that was
Oh, yeah?
absolutely
Ooh.
horrific.
Yikes.
So, but I mean, we are turning the corner, except for the fact that most of the things that have succeeded have been animated. Except for Minecraft, I guess, is the closest thing you think of a video game property that was done well, but that was by the guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
So maybe that would lead me to think that maybe they're going to go this route, and it would be
Like, just
kind of
something
funny. We have
cheesy, but like campy to be campy, not to.
kind of, and I think of almost like the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, that type of theme where you basically you got like people that are playing along with the joke,
Yeah.
like a biopic or something like that. Pop star to keep popping. I don't know if they could do something like that. I would be all down for it.
But then, how do you add the fight scenes for that? I guess it could be kind of like a Jackie Chan movie, like that kind of humor or something like that.
I think so. Or you just go there so over the top, like people getting, how are you going to use energy projectiles? And you've got Jason Momoa as Blanca, a green creature who's electric. I mean, that's the only thing I can think they could play it up and just really be goofy and funny and odd and just tongue in cheek. I don't know.
They could make it like a road trip style movie, right? Because
exactly like how everybody's getting there and they have to battle and maybe some cameos. I mean, it's Capcom, so could they even dip into like a bag of cameos of other Capcom characters?
Yeah, get Dante in there. Get Chris
Mega
Redfield
Man, Dr. Wily
punching a boulder. Chris Redfield.
Yep,
punching a boulder.
Exactly. Oh, and they got to beat up the cars in between sequences, right? What are you gonna do?
Oh my god.
God, yeah. Well, that's all we can hope for. Is it's decent, but I don't want like an edgelord like Uber. I mean, because Mortal Kombat tried that in the most recent take on that, and I mean, I thought some of the fight scenes were cool, but it still was not a good film. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think they tried to add some humor.
They did, but
Kano
they also made the main character a guy you would never. He wasn't an existing character either, which made no sense. It's like, why did you do that?
Because I guess he was like you following the whole thing. I don't know. I'm
fighting against demon hordes from other worlds. Yeah, I mean, I felt like that was me. Too kind, Chris. They're like, see, Chris got it. Chris got it. He's the one person.
Give me EP rights next time. I don't know.
Exactly. Let us write this, okay? So if they let us write it, Chris, at least we'll make money, even if it's intentionally bad.
There we go.
Exactly. So, that is it for our news stories this week. If you have any future suggestions for news stories for us to cover, let us know. And by all means, please make these games better and these movies better by hopefully giving your opinion, kind of like how they changed Ugly Sonic. That worked. And you know what? We're better off for it. So with that, Chris, time for us to put our news stories away, tell Madam Web to keep working every week, make those movie connections work that she has in Hollywood, and it's time for us to get to the Geek Easy for a little libation and fun having. So let's go. Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencaster? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencaster. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencaster's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencaster's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So, if you're interested in making an easy, high quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show.
Talk nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
We're sitting in the Geek Easy, cover bands playing, drinks are poured, and we are ready to get our nerd on. So, Chris, you are a media watching fool. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, I've been on a tear recently with a lot of my shows and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, you guys start watching everything in 2x speed and you'll be right up
Does
there.
that work for you? I listen to a lot of podcasts at like 1.2. It works, but a lot of people are a big fan of the double or whatever. I get that. And you're like, then you won't be able to like have conversations in real life, Chris. I need to speed you up.
I don't know, but yes, I have been watching a lot of things. Started Your Friends and Neighbors. This is a show with John Hamm. It was actually recommended to me because the premise or like the location is supposed to be like around where I live right now. I was like, it's like, and the kind of people that you interact with around that area. I was like, oh, interesting. So kind of voyeuristic in that way. I was kind of curious about it.
This is the better half, or the people that live better than us.
Yes.
Side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Not where I live, but just adjacent or whatever.
Oh, we all know those areas. Like, oh, wonder how they live.
Yeah.
I bet their house is a hot mess inside. Oh.
Yep. So watch the first episode. It's pretty good. I definitely want to keep going with that. Watch the first couple of episodes of Poker Face season 1. Definitely I've been enjoying that. It is like, it's interesting because like every episode, it's like there's a bit of a ramp up. It's slow at the beginning because they're trying to get like, and because every episode is, I guess, for lack of a better term, a self-contained story.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like, it does take a little bit, and like you need to like really sit down and watch everything because you pick up clues about like what's going on. So but I have been enjoying that. Another show
you really have to like Natasha Lyonne, because if you're not a fan of her accent, and essentially it's just a female version of Columbo.
Yeah.
Like it kind of like an unassuming person you kind of don't expect to figure this stuff out, kind of plays it a hot to trot. And the fact that she can tell when people are lying is kind of fun. I watched the first 2 episodes, so I am curious to see where it goes, because it's been fun.
Yeah. She's got that raspy, 30 packs a day kind of voice.
Long Island accent. Yeah.
But it works. And then I've been plowing through most of this show, Murderbot. It's on Apple TV. Quite good. I've been I really got interested in this because I've read the book, or at least the first book in the series, through a book club that I was in. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't realize they were making a TV adaptation, and they're doing a pretty good job of doing the adaptation.
That's good to hear.
So yeah.
I've heard good things about it. It's not an hour-long show. I think it's like
20
shorter.
minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
I need to get into that show because I've heard very good things. Charlie talked about it, so I need to watch it because, I like something when it's a little bit shorter, because that means they have to cut to the chase a little bit.
Cut to the chase, and then they leave you on a nice little cliffhanger, and you're like, okay, what's the next episode? And and I think they're almost done with the show. There's one more episode after this, so it's a 10-episode series. So.
I got time to catch up.
Yeah. Billions. I've been slowly working through this show. I watched it way back when, and then I was like, you know what? I want to. I know that there were 7 seasons of it. 7 seasons of it. Just finished season 6, so I'm now finally into the final season of the show. So I'm kind of curious where everything lands off of that, because
Did I hear they're making like more shows spun off of that show?
Really, I did not know that.
That's what I heard, and they're like, we're big on the billions. I'm like, what do they make, trillions next?
Maybe,
or go back to millions. Hard times. We're going back
Ooh,
to millions.
Why not? Why not? But yeah, there's an interesting cast of characters there.
Mhm.
A lot of
What's
familiar
his
faces.
name? Paul Giamatti.
Paul
in that?
Giamatti. Yep, he's on there.
And what's his name?
Damian Lewis.
Julian.
Damian Lewis
Damian
is there.
Lewis. That's right. Yeah.
And this guy that you've seen like in every show, God. But he's like this. He's the right hand man of Damian Lewis in the show. Like he was in Breaking Bad. He was in Suits for a little bit too. I can't remember the guy's name, but he's
not the Dean guy, right?
Not the Dean guy.
He was the brother-in-law of what's his name in Breaking Bad.
No.
Okay.
He was like the scientist that they ended up using, and they kill him off. Spoiler for anyone that hasn't watched Breaking Bad.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he's in that, and then I went through a couple of movies, Final Destination Bloodlines, which I wanted to bring that up with you because I don't know if you saw that yet. But
I haven't seen any of those movies. I need
to.
No,
but I haven't either. I only watched this one.
Did you? Oh, you just what? How was it, that experience then?
It was good. Like, and that's the thing. Like, because I know you watched The Monkey, and I wanted to compare the two because of the ridiculous deaths. In both.
Yes.
I think this one. I think this one has it a little bit better because of kind of the setup that's there. It's almost like a Rube Goldberg like way of like you can see what's happening or how it's gonna transpire, and you just are like, okay, let's see how this comes out. Like, and it's great. It's great because of that.
Any interest in seeing the other movies then?
I mean, possibly. I'd probably go back and watch them if they're like very similar to this style of death. Because I mean, I've seen some of the stuff which is so ridiculous, like so over the top, and I'm like, okay, it's not like horrifying. It's more just hilarious. Like it's more of a comedy, a dark comedy, I would say, than anything. So yeah, my wife would probably never watch it with me, but it is fine. It's fine. But what she did watch with me was this movie Better Man, which no one apparently watched. It was the biopic for Robbie Williams.
I want to see that. Yes. I guess I am a fan of Robbie Williams. I remember when I was in Korea, they had a video show on like American. So when you're in the military and you're living abroad, they have a U.S. station where it's like pop culture and TV, regular TV. You'd see it's delayed. You'd get some sports, and they had a video show and like showing videos. And one of his videos came up. I'm like, I really dig this, the video style, all this stuff. I'm like, so I really got into him. And when I saw what they did with like basically making him a CGI monkey or a monkey man and telling the story of his life, I'm like, I got to watch this. I heard it didn't do very well and it was very expensive, but I'm like, that's pretty ballsy to do that as a biopic.
Yeah. I thought it was good. I mean, it might be a little, self gratifying for himself or whatever it is.
Sure.
But I thought it was done pretty well, and you learn a little bit about like why he's the way he is, and I think that's interesting. And then I mean, I think you should check it out if you got the time.
Yeah, I like biopics. I really do. I love biopics. I love behind the scenes stories. How did things happen?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know. I saw this movie Friendship. It was with Paul Rudd, and
it's my life story, Chris. Friendship. Being an old guy trying to make friends. At an older age, as you know, it's not easy because people get stuck in their ways.
Very true. But it is. I don't
want to be. And I don't want to be the guy who's trying too hard.
Yes, that's me in most situations. But Friendship was good. I don't know. Like there was definitely some moments where it was kind of funny. But like, I don't know. I don't get what's his name's comedy style.
Yeah, I think you should leave.
Yeah.
Tim.
Tim Robinson.
Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, like it's something. Like I know friends of mine were like so excited to watch this movie.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, all right.
I
It's
knew
fine.
a friend of mine who's big into movies who was like a coworker, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I really wanted to see it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Because when I first saw the trailer for this film, I'm like, "This looks like it's going to end up horribly, like killer bad things." But then when I saw Tim Robinson, he says it's more like a long, I think you should leave skit. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's just a lot of loud. He is a very loud person.
Yeah.
That's half his comedy, is just being loud.
Just loud and just cringy, and that's all it is. Like, I'm like, okay.
Awkward. Yeah. Things going on way too long. Like the joke feels like it keeps going when it should end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agree.
Okay.
Agree.
So mild approval.
Mild approval. Like, yeah, it's fine if you're just maybe if you smoke a joint, maybe watch it. Maybe that's what it is that you need to do. But maybe it'll be
because you gotta be less anxiety because he's full of anxiety. Okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
maybe. Predator, Killer of Killers. Very cool animated show.
Excellent.
Animated movie.
Excellent. Yeah. How do you feel like the latest style of animation where it feels like it's less frames or frame, like animated a little bit, like not as smoothly, but has a lot of style? Like, what they've been doing with a lot of films. Like, did you see Blue Eye Samurai?
I did. Yeah.
Same here.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
How it looked.
Yeah.
So I'm with it. Like, I know something. Like, I know I had a couple of friends watch that as well after I recommended it, and like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about the style. I'm like, well, it's not for everyone, but I thought it looked great. I thought like the art style was great, and the story overall. I think the guy who's started with Prey and now did this. I think he's got a good grasp on the Predator universe, and like I'm excited for him to kind of be like the guy that manages the stories moving forward, and like where does this take us with the franchise? So.
Do you wanna know a little bit of a 6 degrees of separation?
Okay, let's hear it.
So this you're gonna be highly entertained for this, or you're gonna be like, Todd, that's ridiculous. So Dan Trachtenberg, Jeff Kanata, and Alex Albrecht, 3 different guys, were doing a show called The Totally Red Show.
Okay,
it was a video show. Basically one of the first video shows out there on YouTube that was all about geek culture. They did reviews, and so Dan Trachtenberg, he directed a Portal short, which got him noticed. And then he did I believe he did like an intro video or something for, what's the name of that game? Warframe. He did a Warframe, like cinematic. Did that, and then he got noticed even more. And they said, we want to hire you for Clover, was it something Cloverfield Lane? The second Cloverfield movie. Okay. So he directed that, and then that's how he then got Prey. And so to bring this all back, so I have been on a podcast with Jeff Kanata, DLC. Okay. So kind of a connection there. Yeah. And then going further, Charlie Carden, co-host of the show, went to high school with Alex Albrecht, who was a co-host of that show. Yeah. As well. So in some ways, SFU is connected to Dan Trachtenberg, who has directed these movies. So I'm all in on Dan. Dan is a great guy. He's very funny. He's a video game fan. If you watch any of his old stuff, he just is silly. It's funny. Doesn't take himself too serious, but he loves film, and this is what he's always wanted to do. And I feel like, man, this is where you give someone who's qualified to make these type of movies. Yeah. And he does a good job. So yeah, I'm excited to see, because his next movie, obviously, is Badlands, which comes out in November, I believe. Oh. And then after that, I don't know what he's going to do, because it feels like I don't know if he's done with Predator at that point, but man, I hope he just gets to make all the movies he wants, because he does it with such a good touch.
Take a stab at Transformers.
That would be amazing, because I know they always joked about Michael Bay. I mean, but yeah, I would give him the king to even a G.I. Joe film, because we've seen how badly that has gone.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
That talk about a franchise that you should just go camp on it, like make it like a America World Police.
Yeah.
And just
Team America. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Make them the village people of democracy.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Okay, so sorry for that segue,
No,
but I thought
no,
I'd give you
it's
a
all
little bit back history. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another movie I quickly saw was Drop.
I want to see that.
That was I don't know. It was fine.
Uh-oh.
It was fine.
So I should skip that one.
You don't have to see it. Like
Okay.
the premise was cool, but I was like, oh, this is where they're going. Okay, this is dumb. All right. But yeah.
Well, let me just ask you.
Okay.
So mild spoilers for anybody who's listening, because I'm just gonna guess because I don't know.
Sure.
So the woman has to poison the date or her family will be killed.
Right.
Is the guy she's gonna poison actually the guy that's behind everything?
No, he's not.
Okay, so at least I thought that was gonna, like, something was gonna happen like that, not the
Yeah.
flim flam. Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So it's something else.
It's something else, and it's like once you watch, you're like, oh, okay, that's where it went. I was like, okay, yeah,
Too obvious, or is
it's
it like,
pretty
oh, this
obvious.
is
Like
gonna
once
play-
you
okay.
watch it, and you're like, all right.
Okay.
But and they try to throw like things at you to throw you off the scent, but it's like it doesn't work. It didn't work. So.
Okay. So
It's
bad
fine.
execution.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
Squid Game series finale. Finally watched that, and I stayed up way too late watching that, and it was good. It was as good as it was as good as you could end a series with, like, the kind of tragedy and drama that this show has. So, yeah.
So Chris, this is where you can get mad at me. I've only seen the first 2 episodes.
Oh,
The whole
okay.
series.
Okay.
I know, and I got the series finale spoiled for me in
Did you?
like a thing, and I'm like, wait, this just dropped, and I'm like, and you're already spoiling it?
That's horrible.
That happened with me with House of Cards. I'm like,
Really?
what?
Ugh.
In the way you don't want to get spoiled. I did hear it. I'm like, that's kind of cool the way I heard it ended, but I mean, and at that point, I'm like, in a lot of these shows, it's not necessarily the ending; it's the journey, right?
Yeah, I agree. But like, I mean, I just felt like there was no. I don't think there was any other way to end it without it feeling like a cop out.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there's that.
I still want to watch more because I really enjoyed it.
It is good. It is good.
I lived in Korea for a year, so I feel like akin to at least understanding the culture more so than a lot of other cultures I've never experienced. So I'm curious to see when I'll sneak that in, because as you know, Chris, they keep making stuff.
They do. That's why I have so much stuff to talk about. So I apologize. It took too long. So
No, I love this because it's a good way for me to feel like, what's the barometer? Where should I spend my time? I think we need more of that. I know people's reviews are like, that's fine when you had 3 networks and 4 shows. I mean, and now there's 15 shows a day dropping. Every minute.
Yeah.
Oh well. So, that, speaking of which, I finished Ironheart.
Okay.
This is a weird drop for Disney.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole 6 episodes dropped in 2 weeks.
Okay.
First 3 episodes and the next 3 episodes. It's very different. Like, they did the same thing with Echo, where that was dropped all at once.
Yeah.
Which was weird because I really liked Echo, and I ended up really liking Ironheart.
Okay.
Because its approach was, this was not the end of the world. This was a smaller story focused on the main character and her smaller group of people.
Yeah.
It added characters that had a lot of personality.
Cool.
It did have a minor connection to a bigger thing.
Okay.
But it wasn't required. And this had, and you didn't even have to know Riri Williams was in Black Panther 2.
Okay.
To be honest.
Okay.
I felt like it was like, hey, drop me in, get a story about her. I mean, you could watch a recap if you wanted, but wasn't necessary.
But does it take place after Black Panther?
It does.
Okay.
Black Panther. This is after Black Panther 2.
Okay.
You see kind of like her, where she's at in life as a person who's obviously done really crazy things, and how she's adapting, which is kind of cool because she wasn't like Tom Holland, where she kept on, getting passed along with, Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. She's just been kind of left on her own. So, and you see her dealing with a lot of real world stuff that we all deal with. Anxiety is a big part of the show. It's like, wow, that touches me because I've dealt with anxiety. I've had an anxiety attack. So, and I like some loss and how they deal with it. And there is a big surprise, which I liked.
Yeah.
And I worry though that nobody will watch this, and then next time that character shows up, you're like, When did
Who's
that happen? That's the problem with Marvel right now.
Yeah.
When did that happen? How much shows do I have to watch? So, but I liked it. And considering we're not getting many Marvel things anytime soon, next thing we're getting is the Punisher one shot, which is coming out this fall, similar to the Werewolf by Night. So,
Okay.
you're not going to have a lot of Marvel to pull you through because they're next, obviously, after Fantastic Four drops, you get nothing else Marvel from a film until the next year with Secret Wars,
Wow. Okay.
which is crazy because I'm
Yeah.
like, when are we seeing our Avengers? Because they have not been fully formed.
Well, what about? I thought when's the Spider-Man movie coming out?
That is coming out. Well, this is the fun part.
Okay.
So originally, Spider-Man was supposed to come out after Secret Wars. Well, Secret Wars now is pushed out to December. So now Spider-Man is going to come out, I believe, before. So that's going to be weird too. So now they're going to change up the script. And that's obviously a Sony film, but it still is part of the MCU. It's kind of weird. So yeah, so that's one where it's like, how are they going to fix that? So we don't know. I'm guessing something will change again just because I believe that movie is starting to film. So it's got some work to do. But yeah, I would highly recommend Ironheart. It's very female focused. Color. People of color don't get a lot of showing on screen, and I loved Miss Marvel. I love that show. I loved Echo. So man, I just feel like a lot of those characters are just getting no love, and they deserve it because I think all of those things were excellent. But especially if you got young kids, you got young girls in your life. It's good.
I mean, I liked Echo up until like the finale, where they just did that kind of like, I was like,
you got to connect everything, Chris, right?
Yes. I was like, all right, fine. Yeah. Cool character.
Then Sandman season 1, I watched, and then I didn't realize they dropped a bonus episode. And Sandman season 2 is just now dropped now. I love Sandman. It's one of my favorite comics of all time. Neil Gaiman is unfortunately having some stuff happening right now. Nothing has been like, he hasn't been convicted of anything, but what he's being accused of is pretty shitty. And I hate that these great creators are just either dirtbags or falsely accused. I don't know.
Yeah,
no one has accused him. He hasn't been brought to court. Yeah. So, but Sandman, the show on its own is great, and there are great people in the show. And I feel bad for them because they have to deal now with the fact something that's out of their control, a creator now that quite honestly is in the control of their careers with these characters. But I did watch the bonus episode. It's been out. It's called Calliope. It's a mix of two things. It's 2 parts actually, but totally unconnected. One is about a story about cats. It's fully animated, and it is a story about the world of dreams and how dreams can change reality. So I don't want to say more than that because it's very touching, very good story. And then the second half is about Sandman. Morpheus was at one time married to Calliope, one of the muses. And the story is all about Calliope, the muse, and her basically being a captive of a writer who was basically holding her in a contract to basically inspire him.
Yes. I vaguely remember that.
Did you watch this
one? It's been so long since I've saw the series. But
Great.
It was great.
Great episode, and like how the writer gets the revenge against him was perfect. I just loved it. Just really great. So great episode. Just, you can watch. There's a couple episodes in Sandman I feel you can watch standalone and you'll love them to pieces. The episode about death, and then this episode is great as well. That was great about Sandman. There was some great arcs with great standalone stories. So really, really love that story. Solar Opposites. This is a show by Justin Roiland. Obviously, he's persona non grata as well. The creator of Rick and Morty made the show about aliens who land on Earth, escaped disaster. Basically, we've got two aliens, their clones, and a pupa. The pupa, if they raise it properly, will basically destroy a planet and transform it. And this show is Rick and Morty. It is, but it's got such weird undertones because it's not only got like the hijinks of the characters where they try to like destroy love, outlaw love because they hate love. There's weird association with like the holidays. So like the first 2 episodes all are holiday episodes, like dealing with Halloween and not like being scared, and then love and what does it mean? And it's weird and over the top. But then there's also this weird thing about the one replicant who's younger. So basically got older, and then the replicants and the pupa. One of the replicants, the boy guy, he decides to shrink humans and hold them in captive, like an ant farm. And essentially, they have this like weird side story about the humans living in the area, and they create their own like leadership and rebellions. It is really weird, but God, it's so I'm so in because it balances that weird like sense of humor and drama and weird tragedy, like Rick and Morty does. It's like the show's a lot, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah, if you're interested, it's on Hulu. So Solar Opposites. I think it's got like 4 or 5 seasons, but yeah. And I don't know if Justin Roiland was replaced on that as well, like he was in Rick and Morty. But we'll see where it goes. And either hate Rick and Morty or you love it. So there you go. Well, that is it for the Geek Easy. We got to pay our bill or run out quickly, Chris, and hope they don't catch us. But we keep coming back every week, so that has not worked out well for us. So with that, Chris, it's now time to check in with our leader of the mutants, and that's Tina in the Thunderdome.
Welcome to another edition of Thunderdome!
Thank you, Tina. The mutants have been gathered for a topic or game to be entertained. And this week, we're playing a game that some people love, some people hate. And that game is Pitch Meeting. So Chris and I are basically going to play Hollywood writers, and we're going to pitch a TV or movie to a Hollywood executive. I will be Chris's Hollywood executive, and Chris will be my Hollywood executive. The way it works is Chris has a tab with 4 columns: setting name, the genre, the antagonist, and the protagonist name. I will give Chris a number for each of his categories, and that's what he's going to have to pick. And there are actually 10 different options within setting name and all of those. Basically, each one has it. So basically, this is me giving Chris random numbers, and then he has to deal with that and pitch me his idea. So we're going to go from there. So Chris, would you...
I was going to say
more questions.
Can I want to watch the master do it. So I'll pitch.
Do you want me to start?
Yes, I want you to start.
Okay, so I will pitch first. We'll go from there. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So Chris, do you want to line on a TV or movie series?
Let's do TV.
TV series. Okay, excellent. So Chris, since you're the executive and you got the big bucks, you got to give me my pick number for each category. So let's start with setting name. What number are you giving me?
Let's do number 7.
Number 7. So I'll tell you that right now. Number 7 is Ninjaville. That's where we're going to be based in, Ninjaville. Thank you for that.
All right. And
genre
is going to be number 3.
It's going to be fantasy. So we got Ninjaville. It's going to be a fantasy genre. Okay. My antagonist number?
Your antagonist is going to be number 10.
An evil corporation, because nothing is better than an evil corporation in a fantasy setting. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, in the last category, protagonist name.
Number 1. Number 2.
My protagonist is Ingrid von Blast. Very fantasy. All right. So
very Ninjaville too.
I know, I'm in Ninjaville. This is perfect. So the way this works, folks, is Chris is going to be giving me a green light if this project can move forward. I will say I get bonus points if Chris loves the directors, any stars, anything I have for this kind of overall arcing. So Chris, when you are ready, I will pitch.
I'm ready. Show me what you got, Todd.
Okay. Chris, this is going to be a moneymaker. It's going to go on for 12 seasons. It's going to be huge. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be on Netflix, and it's going to go to syndication. Everybody's going to want this show. There's going to be dollar signs all over the board. We're going to have like lunchbox specials. We're going to have everything because we're going to make this awesome project. It's going to be a fantasy TV series.
Okay. Fantasy
TV series that is set in the world of Ninjavilles. Because Chris, if you know something about that, Ninja's secret power is magic. Magic.
You're right.
Stealth and subterfuge. And you know what, Chris? When we find out in this fantasy setting that it's not the fantasy. It's not like the magic is just happens magically. It's actually done by corporations. They mine magic.
Oh.
Yes. So this is
Okay.
basically, and what's going to make this different is we're going to have a female lead, and her
Okay.
name is going to be Ingrid von Blast. Ingrid, let me just give you a little bit of background on this character. Ingrid was a young girl.
Okay.
And at one point, her parents were working in the magic mines done by the Magic Soft Corporation.
Okay.
They had quotas to hit. They had wizard board members to satisfy with their magic quotas every month, because we had to have like magicians could pull out rabbits out of their hats. They had to make the money, but there was a tragic magic explosion.
Oh no.
And Ingrid's parents were both killed on the job.
Okay.
Ingrid was told her parents were the saviors. They were the ones that saved everybody so they could sacrifice themselves so the other people could live. But Ingrid didn't believe the story. She was put in then the Magic Soft orphanage and was basically treated like a redhead stepchild. But secretly, she knew there was more to her legacy than just being a poor orphan of the Magic Soft Corporation. And that's when she decided to leave the safety of the horrible orphanage and escape to a magical place called Ninjaville. She read about it in magazines, Magic Scrolls. Ninjaville was a magical place where a mix of magic and fighting skills would lead you to be the most lethal magic user in all of the land.
Oh, wow.
But no one knew where Ninjaville lived. So Ingrid went on a secret quest to find out any bit of information she could have. Along the way, she found a drunk man on the side of the street who was basically selling magic maps. She gave him her last bit of magic coins. I believe they're called bitcoins, by the way. And she purchased a map from the drunk beggar on the side of the road. The beggar laughed because he knew that wasn't real, but he told her, and she wanted to believe. Well, announced it to the beggar. It truly was magic, Chris. And it led, only one person could divulge the secret of where Ninjaville lived, and that was Ingrid von Blast. She used it, she defined it, but along the way, she knows she needed help. So she recruited staff that would get her to Ninjaville, where she could become the greatest ninja magic user of all time. She ninja go'd to Ninjaville. And that's just where the story started, Chris. I've got 6 seasons of this. I've got betrayal. I've got passion. I've got magic. I've got funny sidekicks.
Okay.
What do you think?
Wow. First of all, kudos to you for taking this story where I honestly, with that mix of options there, I didn't know where you're going. But you know what? I'm picking up what you're putting down there, Todd. I think I will greenlight this because it seems like it could be a great kid show, to be perfectly honest. Like it could be like one of those like Hunger Games ish, or like what's the one that Disney just did for Poseidon. Percy Jackson.
Yes, Percy Jackson. Okay, yeah.
It's giving me those Percy Jackson kind of
Okay.
vibes too. So
I'll take it. I feel like those are a little bit lesser projects than mine, but that's okay. I'll take it. Can't wait for you to change up all my ideas and take all the credit.
Yeah, that's why I already did, right? I made it a kid's show.
That's true. Like, wait, I had a 35-year-old. She was going to grow up. She was going to grow up from orphan to full-on adult woman, but apparently we're keeping it young. Thanks, Chris.
No problem.
And the name of the show will be called Magic Von Blast to the Rescue. Dumbest name
I'm
ever.
taking back the green light.
Okay. You can change that. Sorry.
Yes, of course.
I creative control. Who knows? Who needs it? I'm ready to cash out and sell out.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
All right, Chris.
Ooh,
Are you ready to pitch to me?
I will do. Look, you've already done a great job. I'm probably gonna crash and burn here, but let's go. Let's go for it.
It's okay. I feel you got the magic in your heart, Chris.
Yeah,
We'll see.
hopefully.
Okay. Give me your choices. Are we talking about setting?
Wait, yeah. Go ahead. Give me. Wait,
Okay, I'm going to give you number 4.
Okay, Zeta Prime.
Zeta Prime. All right. Genre.
I don't even know what that means, but okay. I'm guessing sci-fi. Sure.
It sounds like it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Or change it as you must. I was genre. I'm going to give you 8.
8. Okay, let me highlight these too, so I don't forget.
That's what I did.
8. Okay, that is alternate reality. Okay.
For antagonist, I'm giving you 7.
Okay, zombies.
There you go. I like it. Okay. And then protagonist name, I'm giving you 2.
2. Okay, no, actually, sorry. Yes, let me reset that.
And if we got any of that duplicated, we can change it.
Zach Thunderfist.
Yes. Okay. So we've got Zeta Prime, alternate history, zombies, and Zach Thunderfist. Okay,
Yeah.
Chris, this is your TV pitch. No worries. You have 10 minutes or less to astound me. Don't bore me.
Yeah.
You're my 5th pitch today.
Oh boy. Look, Todd, I know, you know, that there's been a ton of zombie shows, movies, whatever, right? It's just like it's all over the place, right? But what if we make a series about zombies in an alternate reality? All right? You following me right now? Because
My socks are still on.
your socks. Okay.
I'm holding on to them.
Alternate guy, like you got to think about this, Todd. We're talking multiverse kind of nonsense here with zombies. All right, with zombies that are just going hog wild here, and the setting's going to be called Zeta Prime, because you know what? We've done zombies in on Earth too many times. We've done zombies in space, but Zeta Prime, we're just we're starting off with a clean slate in terms of
Check for copyright in that.
You know what? We don't have to worry about that right now. We're just talking.
Okay.
You and I are talking.
Don't
right
get
now.
sued. Don't get sued. George Martin probably wrote a book about it and looking for someone to write it.
We're just starting here on a clean slate, and we're talking about this alternate reality place called Zeta Prime. And you know what? Zombies are going rampant. There's clearly some sort of outbreak that happened, and nothing to do with monkeys, nothing to do with rage medicines or any of that stuff. These zombies actually lived on this planet. They were the ones that were there to begin with, and us as well, maybe not us, but some sort of humanoid life forms decided to inhabit this place because you know what? They needed this place to stay, and now the zombies are not the ones getting not the ones that are doing the infesting. It's the other way. It's the humanoids that are coming in, and we got to take them all out. And who better to do that than our protagonist, Zach Thunderfist? Zach Thunderfist is leading this small ragtag group of militaristic group. They're doing their thing to clear out this planet.
I'm trying to stay on path here. So Zach is a zombie paramilitary guy fighting humans?
No. He's humanoid. He's the one that's trying to clear out the planet Zeta Prime of all the zombies. The zombies are already there. They're trying to clear it out for this humanoid civilization to take over the planet.
Okay.
So Zach is doing his job, but you know what? He falls in love. He falls in love with the zombie.
I love romance
It's like,
in
you know
my
what?
alternate reality shows.
I mean, he falls in love, and now he's conflicted because he's like, wait a minute. I'm taking out the love of my life's people, and what do I do now at this point? And so there's that tension between him and his orders from above, from his human people, and then the tension of the love of his life and watching her civilization just disappear as they try to terraform this for their own tapes. It's it's a lot of tension, a lot of drama, maybe some laughs, a lot of crying, but you know what? It's zombies.
Is this the plot for Avatar 4? Did you Cameron know you saw his script?
No, don't worry about that. Don't look at that.
Well, Chris, I love this. I don't know how you're going to portray zombie love on screen and get away with a rating we can live with, but I love the fact that you're going to get this on the screen before Jimmy C even gets close to releasing his version of this. So I'm all in on it. We can cash in. Everybody loves invading American-like corporations.
Yeah.
Species. We're all in on it, man.
And I'm thinking, for Zach, you got to go with the strong chin. We got Glenn Powell being there.
All right.
Glenn Powell being Zach Thunderfist there, and for a director, you know what? You need someone who can manage. And you know what? Let's get him in so we don't have to deal with any of the back and forth with the courtroom. Get Jimmy C in. Get him to direct it and let him do it. So there's no conflict of interest, because it's like, hey, we're just letting you take an opportunity to do this at a longer scale. A TV movies are good, but let's do a nice
Chris,
epic.
I love your passion. I don't love your not understanding of budget or time Jim Cameron has to make a project. So I'll take those ideas and maybe put them somewhere.
No.
In the meantime, I like your passion. I'm going to fund this project. I'm giving you a 2-episode commit.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Glenn, I'll get Glenn Powell on the phone. We'll see how that goes.
All right, cool.
How does how do you feel about you went from Cindy Sweeney to zombie love?
It could be zombie Sydney Sweeney.
Of course. They
Why
want
not?
another project to work on. So that's the pitch.
There it is.
Yeah, it's showing range.
Yeah.
The undead. I mean, what else does Sydney Sweeney want? She's selling bathwater, by God, to make soap. Yeah. So we shall see where this goes, Chris. But I appreciate your passion. Got two episodes that we'll get a script from you, and when we'll see how that pans out.
Awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait.
By the way, your budget is $500,000.
Oh God. Okay.
Well, very good, Chris. I think hopefully everyone's entertained. And you know what? If you think you can do better, let us know, because we'd love to hear your takes.
Please.
Because it's hard to nail these genres and things when you don't. Again, we're doing this on the fly, folks. So that is it for Secret Friends Unite, episode 533. Chris, so glad to have you back, man. It's always great to have you on. You've been with Secret Friends Unite for some time.
Yeah.
And always appreciate when you can join us. So where can people keep up with you?
Oh man. Again, thank you so much. This was intimidating for sure, the pitch meeting. But as always, a great time to chat with you, Todd, and get up to speed on some of the latest geek news. But you can find me on Blue Sky at 1H1D. Our podcast is weekly and drops on Wednesday evenings. 1 hour, 1 decision. We take a random game on Xbox Game Pass and play for an hour and decide if it's worth playing past that or an hour or not. And unfortunately, the game Todd and I decided where you would come on the show is still getting pushed back further and further, Todd. And maybe one day Replace will show up, and one day we could talk about it.
Oh my God, Chris, is that a game that's ever going to come out?
I don't know. It's unfortunate, but
Please,
see.
please,
Just a little.
Xbox. Everything that's going on Xbox, please. This is your focus.
Yeah.
This is your focus. Get replaced.
Get
out
replaced
in
out,
2025.
please. But
Yes.
yeah, and that's part of my fantasy draft too, which stinks big time. But anyway, yes, you can find me on Blue Sky 1H1D. Podcast is on most, if not all, podcatchers that are out there, and then we put our episodes out on YouTube too, on the Quit the Build Network channel. So stop on there, leave us a comment there. That'd be great. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
Excellent. And of course, we'll hopefully have Chris back on for many more shows, co-op mode, anything else we do. It's always a good time. So thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it. Made my Saturday night even better. And for myself and Secret Friends Unite, you can follow me at Todd Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite on Blue Sky. Also at T Oxtra, at Secret Friends Unite on the Threads, Facebook. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Secret Friends Unite. And also check out our Discord. You can join, be a member of that community, and also our YouTube channel. And secretfriendsunite.com for all things Secret Friends Unite. So that is where you can find me. So remember, folks, be the hero, not the villain.
Zombies.
Zombie love. MRFer. Good night.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and podcast services around the galaxy, as well as video on our YouTube channel. You can support Secret Friends Unite by becoming a Patreon member, get bonus programs and more over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite. Join our Discord community for even more discussions on all things geek. For all the latest updates on Secret Friends Unite, make sure to follow us on Threads at secret.friends.unite and visit secretfriendsunite.com. Find our merchandise at TeePublic and Redbubble. Thanks for listening, and may the Force live long and prosper.